Right then, lads and lasses, how we doing, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Now, lads and lasses, we all know that Newcastle United and Adidas's 2024-25 home shirt has not long just come out, but as we all know, we have access to the replica, which is just the bog standard version of Newcastle United's new home kit, but we also have access to another home shirt in the Pro/Authentic version, which of course costs £110. The generic version, the replica version, costs us £80. So, with this being more expensive, and of course which is classed as the Pro version, that obviously alludes to being a better shirt, but for £30 more, is it really? I've bought both, of course, the replica and the authentic version to point out all the differences and, of course, the material, the feel, what is different to the Pro shirt than the replica. And, of course, for £110, which is a lot of money, is it really worth it? We'll find out in the video. So without further ado, lads and lasses, hit the thumbs up button if you do enjoy, and, of course, subscribe if you are new. It's a little bit of a different video, but I kind of like experimenting different videos rather than what would be a daily news video recorded on this camera right here. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here we are, starting off with the replica version, and of course the one that you have all seen on the photos and videos from Newcastle United and me in ourselves. So there's not too much to touch upon it, of course. This is the back. Let's be real, we've all seen it, but one we may not have seen is the Pro version. What are the outstanding differences, starting off with the badge? Right, so as you all can see, I genuinely wouldn't know what to actually call this badge, like the type of material of it, but it looks patched. I'm going to use that sort of text. I'm going to be honest, I've never ever been a fan of these badges. Even through the Puma days, I thought they looked pretty cheap. But if we take into context last season's shirt, let's be real, lads and lasses, it doesn't look the best. The Newcastle United isn't very clear at all. You know, when you want to be exposing yourself as a football club, you want to at least be able to say what on earth your name is. Thankfully, although I am still not the biggest fan of these badges, you can clearly see, as you should be able to, Newcastle United. So although in my head it's kind of a cheap sort of version, I do still think it's very clear, and that's what we need as a football club. But speaking about very clear and absolutely fantastic, that's what's on the Pro/Authentic version. Let's take a look at that sublime badge. Now, I've got to be honest, even including many authentic and Pro versions in the past, through many years, I've got to say this is the best badge I've ever seen on a Newcastle United shirt, even including the 95-96 ones behind us. I think it's so clear, and of course it really resembles what we are as a club. It's got the gold. Fingers crossed we can have a gold Premier League title very soon. But so clear, and it's so definitive as well. I really do like it, and it just emulates what top quality sort of material that Adidas do bring to the plate, and of course the exposure and all that sort of stuff that comes with it. But on the other side to the club crest, which we can take that off, is absolutely fantastic as an addition on the Pro shirt. On the Adidas emblem here, there is a very different feel of it, as of course on the authentic version of the Newcastle United shirt here. With the replica version, yet again, I really need to sort of look up my materials because I'm getting very stuck here. But on this one, it's a very rough sort of embroidered feel to it. I've got to be honest, it's not the nicest, but who on earth cares about what a kit supplier feels like on the shirt, you know what I mean? But if we do take a look at this one, it does feel a lot better, although I did just say it doesn't really matter. Yes, it feels a lot better, a lot more smoother, and yet again, a lot more quality. You really are getting your money's worth. But if we take a look at the other sort of details, is it worth paying that £110 price tag? So apart from the Newcastle United club crest and of course the Adidas logo, which is what our eyes are first drawn on, of course, I mean it's right in front of our eyes, the one outstanding difference left from two shirts, there is a fair few more, which of course we will get into, but it is the collar here, and there is quite a bit of differences, by the way. The Pro version due to the replica version, we'll take a look right now because there is pretty much outstanding differences between the two. Starting off with the replica version, which of course I'll have to take this off to have an actual look. It's got one sort of massive white sort of ring around the whole back here, whereas on this one it's very different. We'll take a look when I put it on. I'm not going to say there's too much different with it, but on the Pro version, it sort of cuts down here. With the replica one, it's pretty much a black line all the way around. So yet again, I am holding the microphone for sort of sufficient use here because the collar really does need to be shown in this situation. So we will start off with the back of our collar on this replica version here. We can see there is sort of a black background and of course a white line going all the way through. If we take a look at the Pro/Authentic version, there's not a collar on the back at all. It's kind of overtook from this back here. And of course, on this one, there's a white sort of little line going through with a black, I don't know what you call it, like a black ring going all the way through. On this one, it's pretty much cut short, shall we say. This white line, which of course is the generic Newcastle United black and white stripes, it kind of gets cut off here as it's going in, and I've got to say, I'm not that much of a fan of it. I do say I don't really like this collar, even if it is one. It look kind of a makeshift collar in my opinion. Yeah, I don't really like this collar in my personal opinion, but of course that is the differences from it. It's kind of cut off here, whereas this one has a black ring all the way around, of course, at the back yet again. It's cut off there and cut off here as well. It's pretty cheap in my opinion. So there's only two more, what I would say yet again, I know I've used this word a fair few times, but outstanding differences from the authentic version to the replica version. They are on the bottom of my shirt. You may or may not be able to see them right now because my dad is helping me out record, but I'm sure I will add in many videos so you know you don't sort of get confused with the context in this video. On the bottom right here, we have what says authentic licensed product from Adidas in gold. Yet again, that gold's being used a lot. Fingers crossed we can get that gold Premier League title. And on the other side to that, it says heat dry, which what looks like an upside down V. I don't know why they make it difficult like that, but yes, nothing too much to touch upon, but yet again, kind of just giving you that credibility for buying the £110 version, as you should as well. An extortionate amount of money, but of course, we will take a look at two more bits right now, and then of course, that's pretty much all that's done right here. So, on the side of me, what I would like to call the panels of my own body, the sort of lower armpit panels, I think you can say. On the bottom of here, you can see, without me sort of tugging on it, it's V-shaped. It's not straight down, which is what is on the replica version. We'll take a look in just a second, but it's cut down here. It gives you that sort of pro player feeling, I guess you can call it. Of course, on the other side as well, they're not just going to leave you with one side. And the generic feel of it as well, you can see it's kind of, my dad's just told us it's called Air-Tex material. Yet again, honestly, I think I might have to go like read a book or something about materials. I'm getting a bit mind boggled here, but it's called Air-Tex material to kind of let the players' bodies breathe for ventilation, you know, when they're hot, make sure they're cool. When they're cool, get them a little bit warmed up. That's what these little, is little beads the right word? I think it's kind of, there's tiny little holes, but they're all jotted all over. It does give you that proper, authentic sort of feel to it, by the way. But of course, on the replica version, let's take a look at what that looks like right now. So like I was saying, yeah, the replica version, straight down, there's no side cuts. It's just like it always has been, straight down from the sort of material. There's got a, oh, I've just actually realized that now. There's like an outlined cut, but it is not cut like the authentic version is. Yet again, the feel on that one, which was Air-Tex, I believe my dad said. On this one, it's straight down, it's smooth. I'm not saying that the quality is bad, by the way. It genuinely does feel very, very nice. I mean, what an upgrade from Castore, man. When you feel this now, with all due respect to them, I've said it about a billion times, we've played Champions League football with them. We've played in a Carabao Cup final. They hit the jackpot, getting a Mike Ashley deal with us, by the way, honestly. But if you take a feel of it now, I know you can't, but you've all felt them before. It's not, it doesn't have a single blade of grass on what Adidas does. The exposure that Adidas gives with the material, just, it's 110 times better. I could not credit Adidas more, and I could not put Castore down anymore as well. On the shoulders, I've got to say, on the Pro version, I don't really like them. Yet again, it feels quite cheap. It's more of a smooth, laminated, printed feel I would go for. But yeah, whereas on the replica version, it's more of a rough, a tough. But yet again, I just feel like it's that authentic Adidas and Newcastle United version, all kind of back feel to it. It feels more like a football shirt than, you know, something which is quite hollow. Yet again, it does feel like better quality, but I do much prefer the replica version. So if we take a look on the back of the neck on the replica version, we can pretty much see that it is just the size charts. There's no customization there. It is pretty bland, what you would expect for being the cheaper version. But if we take a look at the authentic version, there is some changes there. Now, I'm going to be honest, on the back of the neck, of course, you are seeing the video now while I'm talking. I've got to say, I don't actually know what the edition of this is. I'm pretty sure Adidas and Newcastle United would have made the edition very well known. Or it's better for playing football, or it's better for a grip edition or something like that. Will it actually make a massive difference? No, it won't. I think it's a pretty, you know, because they're charging £30 more, they've got to add something like that. It is different to the replica version, but yet again, it's not a drastic difference. It wouldn't, you know, persuade me from paying £30 more for something like that. And I'm going to be honest, I pretty much prefer the blander version. And this one's going out for all the moms out there who get very annoyed when the kids are getting the shirts dirty or any of that sort of stuff. I have got to say, if your child is wearing the Pro version, do not iron it. Or of course, if you are going to iron it, you may have to at some point. Just iron it very, very carefully. This one, although it is sort of a nylon polyester shirt, you can be very careful with it, but this one, honestly, it feels like it's hanging on a thread, so to speak. If you rip it, you're going to have some big problems there. And when you are ironing it, just be very careful. I'm not going to give you any tips on how to iron it, because I'm going to be honest, I don't really know how to. But yes, just be very careful, because it is a very brittle shirt. Right, one last thing before we see, is the authentic version worth £110? And of course, is it actually better than the original replica version? So I am just going to say, as you can take a look at me right now, the sizing is very, very different. This is the replica version right here, and it's just about below, I don't know what, probably on par with my thighs, just the middle of my thighs here, if I put on the authentic version. And as you can see, it's just about to my waist level, whereas the replica version was to the middle of my thighs. So if you are going to go for a pro version, regardless of my judgment at the end of the video, I would kind of suggest going, if you're not going to, at least go and try on a size up to what you would normally get in the replica version. And of course, the last sort of size judgment to what you can see, the back is much longer than the front. I wouldn't say much longer, but in sort of size terms and shirt terms, it's something you want to watch out for. Now, lastly, is paying £110 for the pro/authentic version better than paying £80 for what is the replica or original version of a shirt? I've got to say, lads and lasses, no. That is genuinely my answer. Now look, lads and lasses, the badge, which one's better? Undoubtedly this one. The Adidas logo, which one's better? Undoubtedly this one. It's just my opinion. I've always got to say, every single year, even with Castor, even with Puma, Adidas back in the day, although I wasn't that old enough to get them shirts for a pro version, I've never ever liked the pro ones. I don't know why. I've always kind of felt sweaty in them. I don't know why. I always have felt sweaty in these shirts. I feel if you are going to a match, you don't want to feel sweaty, you know, you want to chill in your shirt here. But I have got to say, if you've got the money, let's be real, £110, no one's chucking that about, other. If you have got the money and you do want to get the pro version, absolutely go for it. Yet again, the badge is absolutely fantastic. The Adidas logo is fantastic, and it does just feel proper authentic. However, the replica version, which of course is available for £80, I am going to say, lads and lasses, this wins every single day of the week. You are of course paying £30 more, but you're not just paying £30 more, you're paying £110 overall for a football shirt. It's absolutely extortionate. But of course, yeah, this wins every day of the week for me, regardless of the price. Do you know what it is? Probably, even if it was like a £10 difference, I'd still go for this one. I want to feel like I'm a fan in the stands, not a player, you know, actually playing on the pitch. This feel is what I think a football shirt should be. Yet again, not like I'm going to play on the pitch. This badge is better, this emblem with the Adidas is better, and overall it does feel a bit better. I don't know why, I'm just going for this one every single day of the week. Not the biggest fan of the material of the badge. Of course, the badge itself is absolutely perfect, but the material, it's very, very hard. It's not my favourite, but overall, I think the shirt's absolutely gorgeous. One of the best we've had in years, and of course, a 14-year reunion with Adidas themselves. I'm going with the replica version every single day of the week, lads and lasses. £80 compared to £110. We've pointed out the differences, the similarities, and of course, is this one worth it compared to £110 to £80? You will let me know down below what version you will go with if you've bought a replica version or an authentic yet. Without further ado, hope you've enjoyed the video, lads and lasses. Like and subscribe if you have already. I've been Josh. Go and enjoy your day, people.